The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
Afternoon on a beautiful Wednesday, June 27th. It's another wonderful day. In fact, it's Happy Birthday to You Day. The song, written originally in the mid-18, about like 1860 or 1870 by two spinsters. You don't get to use spinsters anymore, but that's the way they were described. Two spinsters at some kind of boarding school, and it was Happy Birthday, or no, it wasn't Happy Birthday, it was Good Morning Students, Good Morning Students. Anyway, apparently it was some kind of school song. Eventually ended up Happy Birthday to You. In 1935, it was actually copyrighted, and eventually Warner Brothers Music actually ended up with it, and it's worth about $2 million in royalties each year. In fact, if I sang it right now, people could report me and make me pay royalties for actually singing, I think, more than 30 seconds. I think fair use means that I can actually say right up to Happy Birthday to You, Happy Birthday to... Well, I can get a stopwatch out just to make sure that I didn't have to pay a royalty to people for a song like Happy Birthday to You. Apparently, the copyrights will not expire until 2030, and it's Happy Birthday to You or I'll Sue You Day every year about this time. So anyway, kind of interesting. We've got a lot going on here in the markets. I'm going to take a quick look. One thing I noticed is absolute zero volume. Probably waiting on a variety of things. The European cancel, but that's part of it. We've got the Supreme Court coming out tomorrow with the Obamacare case. A lot of things waiting for news. We've got a few things making news actually today, but I wanted to look at it. At 12 noon, so 3 hours, 9 minutes ago, we had 1.7 billion shares. In the last 3 hours, we've done just a little over 680 million shares. Volume was just creeping. In fact, for like 45 minutes, we did about 100 million shares on the combined New York Stock Exchange tape. It was extremely light volume. It's picked back up a little bit, but still extremely light. This projects out less than probably going to be around 3.1 billion shares for the day. For being up, not a very good sign of strength. Up about 10 points on the S&P. To me, it looks a lot more like a short squeeze, but on very, very light volume on most of these stocks. So we'll get back to that, but less than 2.4 billion shares right now, just crawling along with 50 minutes left to go. What else do we have? It kind of almost funny. Nouriel Roubini on Bloomberg this morning, basically saying Germans are asked to marry a non-virgin, and before they're willing to do that, they want to see some abstinence. The Germans say, you lost your virginity. Now you sign a contract. You say, I'm a boring virgin. Be abstinent for the next 2 years. Show me your soul. And 2 years from now, we'll get married. But today, I commit to marriage today. Forget it. The Germans don't believe it, and they don't trust the periphery. But I don't know, just kind of little different take on it. But I kind of get his drift out there. He doesn't believe that the check is in the mail. And he doesn't believe the Germans believe it either, with all the other countries around them. Without some kind of binding agreement to get your money back, I think the Germans are probably on the right side of history here, but we'll know that in a couple of days. Ray Dalio is also making some big news. Basically, he's talking about that most people are writing off the possibility of a fat tail event. he thinks that there's great reasons to believe that European bank and sovereign deleveraging will prevent the any of this from progressing to anything out of the next 3 days either. And he says without a plan B in place, this fat tail event must be considered a significant possibility. A fat tail event, although we've talked about it on the show a little bit, I've got should have a nice little chart on it. Maybe I deleted it. There it is, just in the wrong order. Fat tail normally is a beautiful bell curve, but then at the end of it, you normally will find that if you look at this chart, the last little tails on the end of these charts should be about 2.15%. Unfortunately, it's like the 100-year flood that comes every 30 years. Those actually tail and in the stock market turn right back up to generally 50% the top of the bell curve. So you get kind of that nice little wavy hairstyle of the 60s out there on the far end of distribution. But I think I can actually see what he's talking about. If this thing does break, if they come up with some kind of lame excuse again, I think we could see significant damage over the next 2, 3, 4 days in the marketplace. We are short in the newsletter. In fact, we covered one of our shorts today. We'll be getting to that. Spotify, the rumor still is swirling that Apple's going to buy Spotify. They did have a deal with Yahoo last night, and where they're going to be plugged into Yahoo's browser. It may be a way of upping the price to Apple for their non-action and not kicking up some money right now. But the betting money in the vulture capital arenas is that Spotify is still on the block to Apple and going into their iTunes store. The Nexus 7 came out today. Google had their Google I/O meeting. Pretty much we've gone through Apple's and now Microsoft, and today starts Google's developer conference. They showed Nexus 7, which is a 7-inch tablet, going to compete with the Amazon Fire. Of course, they're all running fairly similar operating systems. The Nexus 7 is going to be made by Asus, so it's not going to be like Microsoft where they are hiring a company to build it. Basically, Asus is going to design the thing and just sell it under Google's name. Asus is a fairly decent-sized computer company. It's going to have a 7-inch screen, 1280 by 800 IPS display, 16 or 32 gigabytes of memory, 1 gigabyte of storage, or actually not of storage, but of memory, 16 or 32 gigabytes of storage. It's going to be powered by NVIDIA's quad-core Tegra 3 chip, like a lot of these are. It's going to come with Bluetooth, GPS, NFC for those bill-paying guys, and 802.11b in and G Wi-Fi. It's going to have a little micro USB connector on it, and made by Asus. So I don't know if there's a whole lot you can say about this other than the tablet war and the $200 price point is coming up. Said last week that from suppliers that the Kindle Fire was going to try to drop to $150 in September, and probably in competition with this Google's Nexus tablet out there. But kind of a nice 7-inch tablet with a high density display. Probably great for watching little movies, stuff like that. $200 sounds like it's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be $250 for the 32 gigabyte version. But I don't know if it's going to make that big a difference to Google. But it'd be interesting. Probably the thing that no one knew about was something called Nexus Q. Nexus Q is if you're watching Tiger TV, is this little ball-like thing. It's actually a way to play back YouTube, download videos, and it has a little connector and a built-in 25-watt amplifier in it. But basically, you can take your Android device and actually start playing music through the speakers, download with your handheld device, either a tablet, and it's got all the intelligence inside of it. It will actually have controls on the screen. Not a whole lot's known about this yet, other than that it's going to be something like about $299. Don't really know how well this thing's going to play out. We're going to get to Facebook in a little bit. Their quiet period is over for Facebook analysts, and they will really start getting wound up on this. So we'll have to take a look at how some of this stuff goes. But we should be going to a commercial right now, but it will be interesting. So we'll have to see what else is going on. But anyway, what do we got here? We do have what I think is kind of pretty much huge fawning. Oh, we are not. Someone actually changed something here, and I did not know. All right, we got another 2 minutes. I should have checked. Anyway, the quiet period is over on Facebook. We'll wait for the most obnoxious fawning over on a stock. It's already happened this morning. Everybody's saying should be $38. The wild predictions of it going to 200. I think they're going to be all over the map out here, but I think no one actually has a clue as to where Facebook is going, mostly because we don't know how a lot of these investors are they, as soon as it gets to 38, are they going to be selling? What's going to happen at the lockout period? A lot of speculation on this, and I don't think that there's enough history. There's not enough knowledge about what's going on in Facebook itself to actually figure out what these people are going to do inside the company, especially on mobile and getting ad revenue up. We haven't even seen the first quarterly report yet. So they're going to be all over the place. There's still a lot of stock to push out to the public. There won't be a lot of appetite, so I imagine that there's going to be a great deal of fawning and yelling and screaming out here about what's going on. I don't know if anybody saw it or it's kind of hit the news here just lately. There's a fraud ring that's hacking banks, and it's attacked 60 banks so far. The latest I heard was that they've gotten somewhere between 60 and 70 million euros have been stolen for bank accounts on a cyber raid. And apparently it uses a deep insight into international banking controls and computer controls around the world. There's going to be another article that I'm going to refer on this. But apparently a company's been able to even break some of the most stringent security by RSA at the same time. But according to a joint report from software security firm McAfee and Guardian Analytics, more than 60 firms have suffered from what is called insider level of understanding. Basically, it is going to be tough. Anyway, give me a call, 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. We'll just talk about your stock. We've got some here, a little bit more news, but give me a ring. Volume is still just creeping along out here.
It's that time of year again, and the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver Giveaway is back. Every day in June, Monday through Friday, we'll be giving away a Great Panther Silver 1-ounce silver bar, and all you have to do to enter is visit the front page of TFNN.com and fill out your entry. Great Panther Silver and TFNN wishing you a great start to the summer. Sign up today to have a chance to win a 1-ounce silver bar during the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver Giveaway the whole month of June at TFNN.com. With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you gain access to each host charts and computer screen as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, Kate Stalter, Dave White, Larry Pezzavento, or Victor Jones, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV yet, then visit TFNN.com today to see what you're missing. You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments. And whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Stock market corrections are the number one reason that a buy and hold investment strategy produces the poorest results, and I have 73 years of data that proves it. Now, the good thing about economic difficult times is that the worst economy can produce the best rewards in the shortest period of time. In fact, during the last 130 years, 61% of that time period has been spent in recession. And if you're one of the 70% of American households relying on their 401ks and IRAs for retirement, you need the single strategy that is bulletproof against the turmoil of our stock markets. Go to the homepage at TFNN.com. Under Breaking News, click on Success is a Numbers Game to receive this must-have free report. This bulletproof strategy may be days away from giving the next signal. Don't neglect your retirement, and don't neglect this signal. If you're even a little bit interested in accumulating wealth, providing a better life for you and your family, then go to TFNN.com to order your free copy of Success is a Numbers Game today. Implement the disciplines contained in this report, and success will be yours for the taking.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we continue on here, let's see, get back to some of the stuff I'm doing. But let's see what else I wanted to talk about here before the end of the day. Fat Tail, Facebook analyst, fraud ring. Case Shilder was up basically almost 0.7% versus the 0.3 expected. But the news articles I saw were the housing market is booming all over the place. That now, to me, 0.6% versus 0.3% is not a whole lot. If you were selling, let's say, 100,000 cars last month, and you expected to be up 0.3%, that'd be like selling 100,300 cars. And we basically came in with 100,670 cars. I don't know. Maybe it's just not me, but I know Lennar was up, had good earnings. Of course, they're opposed to crappy earnings before. And they were up, Lennar was up like 5% pre-market. But for me, 0.6%, 0.7% could evaporate in a heartbeat. This doesn't sound to me like the kind of robust market for housing that everybody keeps telling me that's going on. I suspect that we've got about another 6 months, and maybe 6 to 9 months, over when a lot of these repos are going to be coming back on the market. Many people I talked to, in fact, an attorney that actually bought one of these repos from a bank, and I know as a friend of my nephew here in town, basically they've been saying that a lot of these are going to come back on the market here in the next 6 months, and I suspect we probably have 6-9 more months of a huge supply coming on, and we're probably going to see the low in the housing market over this next year. I'm thinking maybe we're going to have, this is kind of a short-term bounce out of the robo-signing scandal, and we've got at least one more little tit back down before this is all over. In fact, we were actually looking at a lot of, what can I say, just a lot of just noise, I would imagine. But we'll have to look at it. We were talking about all the banks being broken into. A team of European computer scientists leveled their sights at encryption API used for RSI, which is a big company that does a lot of encryption standards. And they've been able to beat what is thought to be the number one key. It's on a USB chain if you're watching on Tiger TV here. But when we look at more and more of the stuff going on here, I suspect one of the biggest things over the next year is going to be the militarization of hackerdom, especially since we've gone after Iran. I suspect we're going to see more and more of this stuff. But with from what it looks like, the Russians distinctly coming after the banks across the world here. I don't know if they're state-sponsored by the Russians or just because everybody looks the other way over there. But literally very little of what we have out here cannot be hacked. In fact, they were able to break this secure ID chain, which I think is the standard for the NSA, in about 13 minutes. So not that tough. Everybody's been talking about natural gas out here. There's a nice chart here that I'm showing from Oppenheimer and Company about the relative performance of the commodities exchange or commodities out here. And of course, soybeans probably the biggest winners this year. But when you look down at the worst one, probably something that most people haven't thought of. I'm not a big coffee trader out here, and I don't drink coffee either. But kind of interesting to find out that the worst performer this year to date has been coffee. I guess probably a few coffee traders. I don't know if there's any in the den, but you got to think about that. It's interesting. Fat tails. I think this is probably pretty much it. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. We'll go through in probably when we come back here. In my newsletter, we had Harley Davidson. I'm going to go through the anatomy of trade. We did cover it here, and it did pretty much exactly what it should be expected to do in a wonderful kind of ABC format. This one, we took the money at the B point, and we're going to talk about why here, but a fairly decent trade out here, but exactly what it should have done. So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about hog and our short in the newsletter on it, and give me a call, 877-927-7, and we'll talk about your stock.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. Kate Stalter's exciting newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, has just launched, and now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial. Every Wednesday afternoon, Kate sends out her weekly newsletter to her subscribers where she focuses on small cap stocks with market caps under $2 billion, as well as low-priced equities with share prices ranging from $5 to $12. Kate tracks a variety of stocks with a combination of strong technical support and solid fundamentals. Many of the stocks featured will be recent IPOs. These newer issues are often some of the biggest price gainers in the market and provide an excellent opportunity for substantial gains if timed correctly. You can catch Kate Stalter live on Tiger TV with her Small Cap Roundup every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and visit TFNN.com right now to get your 2-week free trial to her brand new newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, while locking in the low introductory monthly rate of only $37.50 per month, almost a 50% discount. Act now.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by Direction Shares. To learn more about tactical tools for the sophisticated active investor, hit the Direction Shares banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. We're going to have a special guest on the show on Monday. I'll probably get more into that as we firm up details on Friday. But look for a Wall Street Journal reporter to be here on Monday. Talk a lot about, I'll probably put that off until Friday. But a special guest that I think everybody will enjoy, especially if you're a trader and want to understand some of the deeper parts of the marketplace. Going to have him on for about 30 minutes on Monday. We're talking about Harley Davidson, HOG. I tend to make a lot of my trades at the highs and lows. What we had about a week ago were a lot of stocks that looked like they were making very extensive ABCs or trying to make ABCs, and a pretty good chance that they were going to at least hit or try to hit their previous lows. One of the ones we went short on was Harley Davidson. It basically did the 6-1. See, what is it? Actually, it did a 0.632, so just over a little bit. I actually went short at the 0.618, which I think it was at $50.25 or $50.30, something like that. And we went that short in that newsletter. Normally, the way I term it is you want to be short at, in this case, $50.10 or higher. So you might have got it as high as that $50.89, but that was kind of a very short little spike in there. But very nice short. But this is a good example of how I use my Power Law Vector Indicator to be looking at moves back here. Basically done a 60% retracement, but the energy from the previous leg down coming back up was almost 50%. Even though you had another 40% on the high, it would still be fairly light. Probably a good indication, along with the market taking a downside, that you wanted to put your order in, and you probably were going to look at that high of that day at $50.89, any close above that as the stop for your trade. So, not a bad-looking setup here, but if you want to take a look at it, we did take our money. The ABC does 1-to-1 does go down to $41.57. But what I didn't like about it is, one, the market is moving up on us. But the other thing is this high volume down day, and a few of them that we were looking back in here, that I really wanted this thing to have a little bit more volume than the last big high volume down day that had 5.2 million shares. Let me check right here. Let's see what we had for volume on it. Just looked extremely light, and probably looks like yesterday's high volume move was going to probably signal at least a stall in the market. A lot of times I call these exhaustion days. You had a spike of volume, probably good enough to get us into this $45 level, which I ordered in the newsletter that I was buying back at for our short. But not a bad-looking trade out here. Of course, you'd have $3.5 more bucks on the downside, but just didn't look like it was going to bust through this $45 level with a lot of volume. See what we have here. We're going to have about 2.7 million shares. I really wanted to see volume continue on the scale of yesterday with that almost 5 million shares. And early on, by 10 o'clock, you could see it was going to be a whole lot less than 5 million shares today. Not a bad time to actually take your money, and a nice $5 trade on this, especially just over, 5 days. Not a bad one out here, but you can, with all those Tiger Bucks I know everybody signed up for over the last couple of weeks, you'll probably be able to get a subscription to my newsletter. And I also, besides picking winners and losers, also put in some scans every day. I go through 5,000 stocks in the market and try to put in anywhere from about 10 to 50 stocks that look like they're giving fairly decent, significant signals out there. And a lot of times I'll cover a few of these in the newsletter, or from the newsletter in my show. Probably the most interesting one is that coming in this morning, we had about 5 different stocks in the home building stocks that were all giving fairly significant looks like they had topped out with a bearish butterfly. They look like they've gone just a little higher than that today, but Ryland, Pulte, Lennar, D.H. Horton, all were setting up either 222s or bearish butterfly patterns. Pulte is the only one that looks like it's kept its nice little pattern out here today. In Gartley butterfly patterns, we'll go ahead and go through this one here right now. May 29th started your X point at $9.62. Dyslexia Cure for found on May 29th. Your B point comes in on June 4th at $7.63. B point comes in on June 7th at $9.23. And your C point comes in on June 12th, $8.34. And we look at probably what is a nice little doji out here. Volume is not all that exciting. We have gone above the previous X point on higher volume here with we got about 13 million shares. but could mean that we're going to have at least a little pause out of these home builders, especially when I saw so many of them making various different either bearish butterfly or 222s before this morning. I know Lennar did come out with earnings today and a nice little bounce. We'll take a look at them. But again, it still hasn't really, see if we can take a little bit. You can see kind of how the butterfly was setting up before this gap up today, but it has gone above the previous high of May 24th on $8. Let's see, on what is it, $29, 8.4 million shares, 15 million shares today. So it looks like we're going to have these home builders at least try for the May 16th high in like Lennar, $30.12. We could see that probably in no time. But need about 10 million shares, and we may have used a lot of that energy up here today. We'll have to see what the follow-through is on tomorrow. After all these home builders have fairly or extensively high short interest rates, or not interest rates, but short interest in them. On the short side, so a lot of these stocks gapping up. Not surprising on any decent good news. I just think a lot of this has to do more with the short interest than actually how well that these stocks are doing. I think D.H. Horton was another one that was setting up on a little pattern. It's another one up here that looks like over the next couple of days it's trying to get up to that $17.91 range. Probably a little bit light on volume for this one, 8.6 million shares so far. And D.H. Horton probably looks like the weaker of the bunch up here. Still needs a little bit more to go, but it's got a 21 million share high out here to hit. One of the ones that has been the perennial ball of the bell as a short has been Joe, which is a real estate company in Florida. And maybe that's why I'm a little bit more bearish over just the very short future in housing. But we've seen St. Joe Company, which I think they're real big on the east coast of Florida. I haven't seen them around here. Maybe they are, but I just haven't seen them. This one actually had been a short of a well-known hedger, and he put out a lot of stuff about how poorly they were doing, but a lot of times that's all that's necessary. There are companies out there, it is company specific depending on their market, where they are geographically and at what price point in the market that they are. So not one shoe doesn't fit all in the housing market, but certainly a decent day in Lennar. I didn't feel like shorting it into earnings, is probably a decent thing, but even then, the energy on the way up is not all that exciting. I think we could have a short-term hop very soon here in the housing market, short-term top anyway. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, and we'll discuss maybe the stock that you want to talk about. We've got a few here that I want to get to before the end of the show. Let's see, what do we have here? We'd been talking a little bit about gold, and we'll go ahead and do GLD here before we do some of the other ones. I was telling people I thought we had at least 2 or 3 more days before we had any significant movement, at least on GLD. I'm not bringing up the contract. Kind of a very sideways move out here, and this is a good explanation of maybe why I took my money also on hog today, and that is a lot of times when you get these gap downs with decent volume, sometimes you'll get follow through, but a lot of times big volume like this tends to send a stock or even a commodity sideways, and that's pretty much what we've had here in GLD over the last 4 days. Your big volume down, you got 2 days down, nice gap down, but this market has been less of a follow through and more at best high volume down turns the market or even a stock or a commodity sideways. So that's what I've been looking at. That one of the ones I wanted to look at here, there are a lot of stocks that look like that they may be making a bottom. I think the news is going to drive these stocks a lot more than these bottoms are. But one of them, C.H. Robinson Worldwide, CHRW is the symbol on that. kind of got a decent looking little bottom on this. The June 5th low out here, $55.88, 2.9 million shares. We came in with about 1.3 million shares, did go below it. We've closed back above it. This one's actually very light volume. You'd like to see some kind of sign of strength out of here before you got into these, and that's what's keeping me off of going long on only these and actually closing the rest of my shorts. I want to see some kind of sign of strength on something out here other than a very few stocks. Saw it in housing today. I just don't see it much in the rest of the marketplace. Computer Sciences Corporation, CSC, another one that looks like it's hitting around some long-term lows, bouncing around all over some previous gap downs. But Computer Sciences Corporation, CSC, January 9th low, 2.9 million shares. It had a December 29th low of 2.5 million shares. Both in the, it was at $23.27. We've gone below it. The volume has been fairly low out here. And when we look at this, it is fairly decent, 23.4. We're going to close back above it. Computer Sciences, of course, big computer software hardware vendor out here. We're going to take a little bit more. Jay from New Hampshire is on. He wants to talk about AEM. How you doing today, Jay?
Excellent. You?
Fantastic. What are you thinking about doing about AEM here?
I like to get the best entry point. I like to buy it.
I think we're going to get a little shock, and I think it's going to be tomorrow, maybe as late as Friday, but I think something bad is going to happen out of Euro. We are up on extremely light volume on the broad markets, and I'd like to see this thing maybe come back down to that $38 level. That gap is the last time you had some decent up volume. Are you watching on Tiger TV by chance?
Yes.
Okay. There's a nice big candle that had some fairly decent volume on the first. You came up there with almost 4 million shares that day. It's kind of gone a little bit, drifted a little higher, a little bit more. But I suspect, you're kind of in the top of that candle already, and the volume is low. I'd like to see this thing get, at 39, 38, and really have some kind of like low volume like you've got today. But I think we've got maybe one more day for you. I'm looking for some kind of bad news, or I don't know if it's going to be the news out of the Supreme Court tomorrow or something, or out of Germany. But everything this tells me that there's going to be one little more shock. There's going to be some capitulation in the entire market. I think everybody's going to sell everything, and it's going to be over very quick. It's going to be short, and it's going to be sweet. Not sweet, it's going to be scary. And I think it's not going to be that huge, but I think it's going to be something probably over the next 3, 4, 5 days, maybe after the 4th of July. But I'm still waiting for some kind of capitulation, shock, a super high tick, something out here that makes me say that this thing isn't just going to go sideways and maybe even bleed down for a little bit longer.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much.
But I mean, if it got down at $38 and was doing volume like it's doing today, I'd be a buyer on it. I would just hate right now to do anything. I mean, it could start up tomorrow. The light volume today is fine. It's just the general market conditions that make me think I'd be a little shy on this.
Okay, thank you very much.
You bet.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one.
You bet.
Bye.
We'll be back in just a minute. You too can call at 877-927-6648.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when temporary market spikes move against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped, and you have the advantage of keeping your trades open even when the market temporarily spikes against you. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique short-term binary options that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you gain access to each host charts and computer screen as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, Kate Stalter, Dave White, Larry Pesavento, or Victor Jones, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV yet, then visit TFNN.com today to see what you're missing. Would you like a personal update from Tom O'Brien as to what equities he's trading and what his daily trading plan is before the market opens each morning? Every market day, Tom O'Brien sends out his daily newsletter, Market Insights, to hundreds of subscribers that rely on his daily recommendations when it comes to navigating these highly volatile markets we're dealing with. As recently as May 21st, Market Insights subscribers closed out all 5 open positions for a combined profit of over 68% in one day. Profits ranged from 6.5% to over 24%, and all of these trades had been initiated within the previous 30 days. Now is the perfect time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's explosive trading newsletter, Market Insights, an $85 value. Tom breaks down the market each morning with his market take and provides trade recommendations including precise stops and target profit zones, leaving nothing left to guessing. Log on to TFNN.com today and sign up for your 2-week free trial. Make sure you're a subscriber the next time Market Insights subscribers close out multiple winning trades. Take action and sign up for your free trial today.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the Opening Call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his Opening Call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his Opening Call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the Opening Call, a $64 value, visit TFNN.com today.
It's that time of year again, and the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver giveaway is back. Every day in June, Monday through Friday, we'll be giving away a Great Panther Silver 1-ounce silver bar, and all you have to do to enter is visit the front page of TFNN.com and fill out your entry. Great Panther Silver and TFNN wishing you a great start to the summer. Sign up today to have a chance to win a 1-ounce silver bar during the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver giveaway the whole month of June at TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, founder and CEO of TFNN, professional trader and educator. Also a special guest on CNBC, analyzing the commodity markets. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
I know everybody in the den is an aficionado on natural gas. We had numbers come out today. Or actually come out tomorrow, I guess, on natural gas, right? But certainly making a nice little signal for us today, both the UNG and Boyle. Thanks for the people in the den for bringing this back up. It's going to show on my scan tonight because we went above the previous high. We went above it on lighter volume, and we had a kind of a nice reversal signal on light volume against this last high. The last high is May 18th, $19.76. 13 million shares got into it with 4.5 million shares. Decidedly closed, are going to close back below it. When you look at the energy in it, energy is about 30% the last move down out here, making a fairly decent impression. You had that huge move off that volume low, but nothing really here since then other than some kind of sideways days for some decent volume. The last 4 days out here are really what you want to look at. You could say it's a double black diamond slope for our listeners out there in Colorado of light volume coming back into this previous high. I suspect that we're in some kind of trading range, and the next low we get out here is probably the one we want to buy if you're looking at this thing for a long term. Not a bad trade out of here if you were long, but certainly a nice little signal out here. You're getting pretty much the same thing in BOIL, and when you look at that, didn't quite make it to the top in BOIL. BOIL, the ProShares Trust on this, but you got pretty much the same kind of signal out here. High of $49 today at 25 cents, and of course it's lows around 44.55. So certainly a huge, significant turnaround. But it's 170,000 shares. Last big high out here on May 18th, as you got into it, was on pretty much double that. On an ETF, you really have to watch that. So as we look at both UNG and BOIL, both of those are giving some fairly decent indications that we're back in here. I'd like to see this thing, if we could, like UNG, come back and test that nice little gap at about $15 on lighter volume, and I think that may set up the huge move. If we could get it maybe second, third week of July, I think that may be the time to buy that thing for the long haul. So we probably have a decent pullback coming in it for a little bit. See what we have in the last minute or two. How about Texas Instruments? I'll take a look at this one. Another one giving kind of an interesting signal. We'll probably know tomorrow. I wouldn't be buying it yet today. But this one's either making a decent halfway mark on the way down, or it's bottomed out. But the low back here on June 4th, 19 million shares, $26.77. We've gotten into that, are below it. Got two nice little dojis out here in Texas Instruments, TXN for the symbol out here. And the energy has been kind of low over the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trading days out here. This is how you should be making a bottom if this thing's going to basically base out here for a little bit. But looking fairly strong out here. I would be looking at some of these as fairly decent movers out here if we do get a little snap out of the bottom. Tom is on vacation. We've got the one, the only Steve Rhodes coming on. He's going to be hosting the next couple hours for us and recovering what happened on the rest of the day. You all have a great day and a safe day, and make sure to hang on for Steve Rhodes. Oh, Ken Shreve is first. Okay.